Coach, first off, I want to ask you about Brock Dew. Coach Dickert called him a bulldog after the game Saturday, and we've kind of seen him push his way into the rotation. Just what have you seen from him to kind of earn himself that role?
Just, consistency and toughness. He's a kid that shows up every day. Especially last spring, he did some really tough things for us in practice. We were really down numbers, but, he's been healthy this year. He's been extremely consistent. He knows what he's doing. You know what you're going to get out there. You know you're going to get a lot of effort. He plays with good technique, and like I said, he is. I mean, that's that bulldog mentality. He's a littler guy in there, and he's got to scrap it up with a lot bigger guys.
You know, I think probably fair to say that UCLA game a couple weeks ago was a tough one. Where do you maybe feel like you guys have kind of taken some strides or made some adjustments to look a little bit better against Arizona and then look better against Oregon?
Yeah, I think that was the worst game we played all year. We didn't handle their speed at all. I just don't, for whatever reason, it starts with me. I don't think the mindset of our group went out there the way they needed to play. That's by far the worst game we played. I think had we played well, we would have found a way to pull that one out. But we didn't, and we came back and refocused, and we've improved from week to week from since then. But, again, we still haven't played our best game out there yet, and so still looking to do that.
Do you feel like, again, Coach Dickert was kind of talking, he talked Saturday and Monday, that this kind of feels like the right five at the line? Is that something you kind of feel like this is going to be your five going forward?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they, these guys know what they're doing. I think each other, trusts the guy next to him. I think they're on the same page communication-wise. I thought the last 2 weeks, and I really thought Connor's done a good job of getting us in the right calls, this, that, or the other, try to combat some of those things in pass rush. And so we got more depth than we've ever had since I've been back. So that's been good. So we're able to rotate guys in and out of practice to keep guys healthy and fresh. So that's been good. And like I said, we got some high-quality guys behind those guys if we need to get into our depth.
Christian's having one of his better seasons he's had so far. First of all, just from a 30,000-foot view, tell me about the kind of season you're seeing out of Christian so far.
Like I said, I've seen goods and I've seen bads. Like I said, I think that he has consistently probably played better. I'd like to see him do a little bit better in the run game, fundamentally wise. But I think he's been kind of a guy that's been solid anchor for us for 2 years. Starting every game last year and starting every game this year, and then being able to kick out the tackle has been very valuable to us. So, but he loves to play football, and when he has that mindset and comes out here and practices like this is the only thing in the world, like he typically does, then he typically has pretty good results.
For Christian, Jake called the UCLA game like a pivotal point for him. I'm not sure if he meant just for Christian or maybe the whole offensive line in general, but did you see something like click in him after that, or kind of what do you think that did for him?
It's just one of those things. Like I said, I think from a holistic standpoint, I don't think anybody from our group played well that game. So it wasn't like one kid here or there. I think it was a group type thing starting with me. And so, obviously we've worked to get that fixed. Obviously, we've got a long ways to go still with a couple games left in the season to improve and chase that game that we're trying to play.
With the run blocking, what can you guys do to kind of improve at that going forward?
Yeah, I think, the last two games, especially the Arizona game, we were one guy away. We never played with five in the run game. We always played with four, and I think that really hindered us in that game. We just got to find a way to, again, like I said, everybody, all five guys doing their job as good as they possibly can to create some explosive runs. We haven't done that this year. Like I said, you look up on a lot of these run plays, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys doing a really good job. You got one guy not. And so the biggest thing is just playing together and executing five guys together or six, depending on who's in the blocking schemes with the tight end, just to make sure that we get our job done the right way.
Coach, who are maybe 1, 2, even 3 guys that fans aren't seeing yet because they're not playing, they're young guys, that you've kind of really seen stand out here on the practice field?
A guy that's made a lot of improvement from the spring to now is Rod. He's done a great job. I think he's stacking days and he's got some playing time this year. He's got some role packages and things like that for other things. And so, I think he's done a good job. I think Ashton Tripp and Zach Miller are 2 guys that come out here and do a really good job working. And so, and then the guy, the one that always shows up every day that, it's tough because he's playing behind team captain, but Devin Kalani, he's just as good. I really consider him a high-level, guy that could start any minute for us. And so, but he would be the most consistent guy we have out there that they haven't seen yet.